Hello everyone, this is Collector of All Things, and I'm back again with a World War II fighter plane. And this is specifically the AEROart 37202 North American P-51D Mustang. And I'm ecstatic to have this part of my collection. I've been looking for a long time to add a P-51D to the collection, but I just haven't been able to find the right one in the 172 scale and at the right cost. And I just happened upon this beauty in a local diecast shop, and I feel very fortunate to have come across it because I really would not have known about this had I not seen it in the store. I didn't even know that AEROart made airplanes, and I've got to say that I'm blown away. So first things first, let's discuss the actual model. And, you know, this is patterned after a real P-51. This one is actually from the U.S. Air Force, and it's the 325th Fighter Group. They were originally the 318th Fighter Squadron, the checker tails. As you can see here, they have a checker tail in the back. This is, of course, the Mary Mac. And this was flown by Gordon McDaniel. She ended off in the war in Italy in 1945, part of the 306th Fighter Wing. So she saw combat, primarily in the European theater. The P-51, really helped the Allied forces, not just the Americans, but of course they were flown by the Canadians and by British. And really if we talk about the Mustang itself and what makes it such an incredible plane, one thing we can discuss is the fact that, when it was designed, it was designed to meet the requirement for a fighter bomber and reconnaissance airplane. The P-51 Mustang was first flown on October 26 in 1940. This versatile aircraft was capable of escorting bombers on long-range missions, engaging in dogfights, and dropping down to destroy German targets on the ground. There were at least 8 versions of the P-51 that was produced, but it was the definitive P-51D, which we're looking at right now, that gave the Mustang its classic warbird appearance. British and the US both tested the airframe and the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, which gave the aircraft tremendous performance gains. The Truman Senate War Investigation Committee called the Mustang the most aerodynamically perfect pursuit plane in existence. And it's really hard to argue with that statement at that time, because really there wasn't anything else that aerodynamically was able to do what this was able to do. There were some beautiful and incredible planes, but up until the P-51 and I would say the Supermarine Spitfire, the Germans had the class of the air. And when this came along, it finally gave the Allies a chance to go deep into the heart of Germany and do those bombing raids. Before the P-51, bombers would fly unescorted, and they would be picked out of the sky. So those brave airmen who flew those bombing missions and took heavy losses. I mean, there were an incredible amount of planes that didn't come back, and those flight crews, they could have been helped had they had this P-51. Thankfully, it did come along later on in the war and was able to help out and curb significant losses in the air. So this is quite an aircraft and very versatile. Like I said before, this was a fighter, a bomber, a reconnaissance plane. It was long distance because aerodynamically it can hold up. And when they matched it with that Rolls-Royce engine, it was incredible. So let's talk about directly this model itself. So like I said, this is all die cast. There are a couple of plastic parts, obviously, the canopy and the propeller here, but incredibly well painted. The landing gear is extended. It does not fold in. So you can just try to get this into, so you cannot fold the landing gear in, but look at the detail. I mean, it's just nuts, the detail that you have inside here. And all these little like metal pieces right over there. Just it's incredible the attention to detail that they got on this. I mean, look at the metal pieces, and you know the flaps do work, the ailerons work. You have even look on the tail. I mean, the rudder. This is just for a 1/72 scale. I'm not used to seeing this much going on, so to speak. You know, this much movement. But I'm really fortunate, like I said, to have found this one. I mean, even the detail and the decals on the plane itself, you know, the exhaust ports out of the engine, they just look incredible. I mean, it's stunning, the paint. Really, really, really blown away by it. And even in the cockpit, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, it might be a little bit hard because of the reflection, but it does have a double cockpit. I believe the original Merrimack was a single piloted plane. You know what? I'm going to include a picture right now just to show you the difference here. Let's just take a look of the Merrimack like that, and I want to show you a black and white picture of the actual plane. I mean, I just think it's crazy. It's incredible. All right, now that I got that out of the way, my fandom of the plane out of the way. Again, like I said, the cockpit is really, really, really well designed. Sorry about the reflection, and it's hard to get the focus in. But if you could see the way I'm seeing it, you would be truly blown away by the detail that they have inside. And this one is my first 1/72 scale without a pilot, but I love the fact that I can see inside and see that detailing. And, you know, even if it's correct or incorrect that it's a double piloted machine, two cockpits, I still like it. I think that that extra detail was incredible. And I mean, just look at the stance of that. That's just, it's incredible. It's, I don't know what else to say. The width, it's 6¼ inches, and the length is 5¼ So it fits really well in a collection. I love 1/72 scale because I can just put multiples on a shelf. Speaking of that, so my other 1/72 scale models are Forces of Valor. So you know what? Let's see what this looks like next to a Forces of Valor. So this is what it looks like next to a P40. And, you know, obviously this is at the beginning of the war and this at the end of the war. And you could see the difference in size and the aerodynamics of the planes. But they fit well together. This is Forces of Valor. This is AEROart. And I find that they look really good side by side. On my shelf, they look amazing. So they do fit. Scale is perfect. And as like I said, in the Forces of Valor, you do have a little pilot, but I really love what they did with the cockpit on the AEROart. Let's take a look at it compared to another plane. So this is a Fokker-Wulf 190, and as you can see, again, scale fits. It fits perfectly between the two of them. And of course, these could have seen each other in combat, and you know, could have shot each other down. This is really interesting. Though, I mean, just look at them. They fit perfectly together. They look great. It's really, really nice. But I am blown away by the quality of the auto art. I always love Forces of Valor. I think they do an incredible job. But the paint application on the auto art is just, it feels a level above. It really, really does. There's an attention to detail where I've always found that bang for buck, dollar for dollar, Forces of Valor did a really good job with their planes. This steps it up more. This, you know, price-wise is in the same ballpark. They're hard to find because they're not in production anymore, and neither is Forces of Valor for that fact. But I was able to do some research, and they are available on Amazon. They're available on eBay, so you can still find them. They vary in price. Some people are asking incredible amounts of money for this, and some are asking reasonable. But again, just the extra stuff like the flaps, just the fact that there's movement on it. I didn't get a stand with this, but again, the landing gear doesn't fold up. So, and I like to display most of the time my planes on a landing gear. I'll show one other plane difference, and we'll take a look again, see how this looks against it. And here we have a Japanese Zero. So again, if we take a look at this, they're in scale. They look great. It's one of the few that I do put on the stand that comes with Force of Valor because I really like the way it looks in flight. I think it's an awesome looking plane, the Zero. But again, next to this beauty right here, wow, I can't say enough about it. I think AEROart, or AutoArt, I should say, in the subsidiary AEROart, has done a phenomenal job with this plane. So that's it. I don't know what else to add. I'm blown away. If you happen to come across this and you are looking to add a P51 to your collection, if you do see this one and you're on the fence, I'd say, you know, don't worry about it. Get off that fence and go get it because it is truly a stunning aircraft. I hope you like the look at this P51D Mustang from AEROart. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like. And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave a comment. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.